1969. Montebello, California. Police are on the alert for a new menace on LA County highways. It's an outlaw motorcycle gang called the Mongols.
The Mongols really formed during the height of the Vietnam War.
Returning stateside, some vets miss the rush of combat.
So what's going to substitute for that? Being an outlaw gangster gets about as close to it as it can be.
Many of these vets returning home to California line up to join the state's most infamous biker gang, the Hells Angels. But the Angels tell one group they're not welcome.
Because they were Latino. There are stories about the Hells Angels not letting them in.
These new outlaws start their own gang, the Mongols. And their logo puts the world on notice.
Their center patch is kind of like Genghis Khan on a chopper.
It personified who the Mongols were. They used violence as part of their lifestyle.
March 1998, Los Angeles. The ATF launches Operation Ivan, sending in one of its own to infiltrate the Mongols and bring the gang down.
The Mongols are involved in, drug manufacture and distribution, and firearms trafficking, and a lot of violent crime.
Agent Billy Queen goes undercover.
I was riding undercover with the name Billy St. John. Working my way in took months because you just don't go up to the Mongols and say, howdy, how you doing? I want to become a Mongol.
Queen knows what's at risk if his cover is blown.
They're going to move in and take care of business. They're going to kill you.
A month later, Queen is invited to ride with the gang to a motorcycle rally in Nevada, where he bunks with a meth-snorting Mongol named Rocky.
He took his big Bowie knife and cut that bag open, and then he lined 2 lines out on a table, meth. He put that big Bowie knife in my face and he pointed at it and he said, "Is that line too much for you?"
ATF agents are forbidden to use drugs, even undercover, as it could jeopardize any future case in court. But if Billy refuses, Rocky will assume he's a cop and alert the gang, who will kill him. Queen has to think fast.
I was able to roll up a bill over top of that line and wipe that line off in my hand and into the floor where Rocky couldn't see it. And Rocky patted me on the back. "Yeah, come on, let's party, dude, let's party."
A few months later, Queen makes a major breakthrough.
The president of the San Fernando Valley chapter came up to me and said, "Billy, we want you to be a Mongol." But I was told that I was going to have to prove to him that I could shoot a gun.
But on arrival at a remote gun range, the Mongols' National Sergeant-at-Arms, Donald Red Dog Jarvis, confronts Queen.
Red Dog started getting in my face, saying, "You're a cop." I said, "Red Dog, I ain't no cop." Then Red Dog said, "So if I put a bullet in the back of your head, nobody's gonna know where to start looking for you. Is that right, Billy?" I said, "That's right, Red Dog." And then he said, "I'm going out there and set some targets up for us."
Queen continues to maintain his composure.
I put up with whatever I had to put up with.
And his efforts eventually pay off. October 1999. After 6 months of high-risk undercover work, Billy Queen is made a full member of the San Fernando Mongols, and he's unexpectedly handed an important job in the chapter.
The president came to me one day and he said, I'm gonna make you an officer. You're gonna be the Secretary-Treasurer.
As a treasurer, Queen will have full access to the Mongols' accounting records.
They kept books that showed their criminal activities. Selling dope or selling guns or stealing motorcycles.
For the next 6 months, Queen collects highly detailed evidence against the Mongols until law enforcement has enough to make its move. May 19th, 2000. Shortly after dawn, 700 agents raid locations across Southern California. 54 Mongols are arrested on charges ranging from drug and gun trafficking offenses to murder.
As a result of his efforts, he brings down this chapter and he brings down the leadership, and they get indicted and convicted.